The war in Ukraine is still raging. May 5th, 2026. SBU, Special Operations Unit, strikes carried out across different sectors. Russian soldiers moving through open terrain, scattered, no cover, no alarm. Before they understand what's happening, the drones are already on them. One here, another there. Nothing to defend themselves with. This isn't a single patrol. This is a pattern. When drones can find and strike infantry anywhere, anytime, how does any army keep moving on the front line? This time, a Ukrainian FPV drone operator spots a Russian soldier while scanning under a bridge and immediately moves in. A large explosion follows, and the outcome is clear. Russian soldiers are now using unusual places like this to try to hide from drones. Magyar's birds, scanning an abandoned ruin. Then, a Russian soldier on the ground, playing dead, completely still. The drone moves in, strikes, but the warhead doesn't detonate. The soldier gets up and runs. The operator resets. The drone goes after him again. This time, no malfunction. This time, a Russian FPV drone lying in wait. 2 Ukrainian soldiers on an ATV moving along the road. The drone launches fast, but the soldiers spot it instantly, jump off the vehicle and clear the area before impact. A drone lying on the ground. A Russian soldier walks right past it, doesn't see it, doesn't stop. The drone launches. He never gets a second look. With the front lines teeming with drones lying in wait, how can these soldiers continue to advance? Wormbusters Unit, 414th Brigade, and look at what these soldiers are doing out here. Scattered, no formation, no coordination. Some on foot, some on motorbikes, moving through open terrain as if the sky above them is completely empty. The drone operator doesn't need to work hard. They're just there, out in the open, one after another. This is a pattern we keep seeing. Russian soldiers moving with no counter-drone awareness, no covering positions, no sense of what's above them. Is this a training failure, a leadership failure, or have these soldiers simply given up trying? Cheboksary again, and this time it's an FP2 drone closing in on a building, caught on camera by local residents. This is the same city that was hit overnight by an FP-5 Flamingo cruise missile. The defense plant, producing navigation modules for Russian Shaheds, Iskander missiles, and Caliber cruise missiles. First the missile, then the drones. At least 4 Lyuty strike drones followed up the Flamingo strike, hitting the same facility again in the morning hours. Schools and technical colleges switched to remote learning. Traffic in the city was partially restricted. 1,000 kilometers from Ukraine, 2 waves of strikes, same target. Ukraine is not done with Cheboksary. When Ukraine hits the same defense plant twice in one night, first with a cruise missile, then with drones, is this the most precise industrial targeting campaign of this war? Two Russian soldiers walking along a road. A Ukrainian FPV drone from the 425th Assault Regiment, Skala, locks on. The first strike hits the soldier at the back. The other runs, tries to hide behind a tree, but the drone adjusts, finds the angle, and closes in. If the soldier in this footage is Russian, he was spotted by a drone operator from Ukraine's 414th Magyar Birds unit. The soldier realized he was being watched and fired at the drone several times, but didn't manage to hit it. Strangely, he then just kept walking, as if nothing had happened. A drone carrying a powerful explosive quickly moved in and flew straight into him. Lyman Front. Signum Battalion, this time working alongside the F-16 FPV crew of the 53rd Mechanized Brigade. Russian forces are pushing small infantry groups forward every day in this sector, trying to slip through Ukrainian defensive lines. Every attempt ends the same way. Watch the footage. Russian drone pilots targeted directly, not just their drones, but the operators themselves. Then infantry caught moving through the forest, tracked down one by one through the tree line. Fiber optic FPV means no jamming, no escape. Every movement forward on this front is met with a drone already in position. When coordinated, FPV units can target both drone operators and infantry simultaneously. Is this the most complete drone defense system operating on this front? A Ukrainian MiG-29 strikes a former substation in Kostiantynivka with a GBU-62 bomb. Russian stormtroopers were concentrated inside. The building is gone. 1st Unmanned Systems Battalion, 59th Assault Brigade. Multiple targets, same result. This is what sustained drone pressure looks like when it never stops. Day after day, sector after sector, one strike after another. In this footage, an attack is carried out on a trench occupied by Russian soldiers. Shortly after, one of the soldiers inside becomes visible on the drone's camera. He appears shocked and unsure of what to do. Holding a radio, he starts saying something, most likely calling for help and reporting that they're under attack. But time is running out. A second drone moves in and strikes the trench. This soldier doesn't manage to survive a second attack. All of these attacks show that multiple drones can be used against the same target. In other words, Ukrainian forces appear to have enough drones in their inventory to deploy more than one per soldier. Cheboksary, over 1,000 kilometers from Ukraine. And a Ukrainian FP-5 Flamingo cruise missile just hit it. The target, a Russian defense plant that manufactures Cometa navigation modules. These modules are used in Russian Shahed drones, Iskander-M ballistic missiles, Kalibr cruise missiles, and precision-guided bomb kits. In other words, the guidance brain behind Russia's entire strike arsenal. The FP-5 Flamingo has a reported range of up to 3,000 kilometers and carries a warhead of up to 1,100 kilograms. As of March 2026, Ukraine was producing 3 Flamingos per day. Hit this plant. And Russia's ability to produce accurate, guidance-capable weapons takes a direct blow. No Cometa module means a less accurate Shahed, a less accurate Iskander, a less accurate everything. This is what striking the supply chain looks like. When a single missile hits the factory that guides Russia's entire strike arsenal, how many future attacks on Ukrainian cities does that prevent? Dense forest, trees everywhere, and a Russian soldier convinced the cover would save him. Ukraine's 116th Mechanized Brigade operator stays locked on through every turn, every tree, every direction change. The soldier runs hard, but the drone never loses him. The forest wasn't enough. A Su-27 with 2 GBU-62 precision bombs, and a railway bridge used by Russian forces for logistics and troop transfers just became the target. One strike, the bridge that was moving supplies and assault troops forward is no longer doing either. Ukraine's military intelligence primary unit hit Crimea, and the target list is remarkable. 3 assault landing boats destroyed, a support vessel hit, a hangar storing additional boats, gone, and the standout, a B-12 Chaika anti-submarine amphibious aircraft, still in Russian service, now out of commission. The drones evaded anti-aircraft fire throughout the entire operation. Landing boats, a support vessel, a hangar, and an aircraft, all in one strike package. Ukraine is systematically dismantling Russia's naval and amphibious capability in Crimea, piece by piece. When a single drone operation takes out boats, a hangar, and an aircraft while evading air defenses, how much of Russia's Black Sea capability is still actually functional? 60 kilometers behind the front line. That's where the Ivan Franko Group, SBU Alpha, was operating. Roads from Pisky to Debaltsevo. Supply routes, Russian logistics units thought were safely out of reach. Fuel tankers, trucks, equipment carriers, all moving, all targeted. 20 vehicles confirmed destroyed across multiple locations in occupied Donetsk. Cut the fuel runs, cut the ammunition transfers, and the units at the front line start feeling it almost immediately. The danger zone doesn't end at the front line. It never did. When FPV drones operate 60 kilometers deep, is any logistics route actually safe anymore? That's everything for today. May 5th, 2026. Day 1532 of this war. 132 combat engagements were recorded on May 4th, with the heaviest fighting in the Pokrovsk sector. 21 Russian attacks in a single day, all repelled. Russian total losses have now crossed 1,336,000 personnel since February 2022. On the deep strike front, Cheboksary was hit twice in one night. First by a Flamingo cruise missile, then by follow-up drones 1,000 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. Missile alerts were issued in 18 Russian regions overnight, and 15 airports imposed flight restrictions simultaneously. At sea, 2 Russian Shadow Fleet tankers were struck near Novorossiysk. A Soviet-era anti-submarine aircraft was destroyed in Crimea. A railway bridge used for Russian logistics was taken out by a Su-27 precision strike. This war is no longer fought only at the front line. It never really was. Subscribe for daily frontline coverage. No agenda, just the footage and the facts. See you in the next one.